Welcome to RE Uncut. Our daily shows are supported by Printforce, Shore Agents, Rock End and CoreLogic.
Good morning. I can speak with authority on today's subject because I've had a battle with depression. Nothing really bad, but certainly bad enough to understand the damage it can do if you let it take hold. I wish that I'd met or at least heard Cameron Schwab's thoughts on his depression back then. Cameron is Dean Yo's guest this week, and he returns in a moment to share why he says his bout with depression was in fact a gift.
In today's market, great ideas alone simply aren't enough, but innovative execution can hand you a real competitive advantage. Nightlight is a cutting-edge illuminated signboard by Printforce that offers round-the-clock visibility and features that maximise advertising space, improving your exposure. Buyers can now see the full picture, day or night, with Nightlight's edge-to-edge illuminated surface, which utilises environmentally friendly, scratch-resistant technology. Nightlight is as versatile as you need to be in today's market.
Hi everyone, it's Dean and I've got Cameron with me. It's day 3. Welcome back.
Thanks, Dean. Thanks for the opportunity.
Now, this is a bit unusual that you said your depression was seen as your gift. What did you mean by that, and how can that be a contribution to others?
The gift really was my my learned response, if you like. So it was. I'm a big believer that you have to go deep to go forward, and to go. We're all into momentum, and we're into driving outcomes. I get that, and sometimes we can. This idea that somehow we can predict an unknown and unknowable future, and then align our personal well-being, self-esteem, these sorts of things to that unknowable future is just so fraught. And so I would say that, and I had a very, I got leadership responsibility early in life. I was able to take on new opportunities, and really I was in a very I was given opportunities that perhaps in many ways I wasn't entitled to, put it that way. And then I hit brick wall, and the brick wall was in the form of mental illness, and I realized that there's all sorts of ways of which you can respond to these situations, and there's lots of ways of approaching it for different people. So I would say that each person has to find their own solution. So one of the things that became important to me was the power of reflection, the capacity to take a step back and go deeper into your own thinking, and trying to work out what it is that's actually important to you. What do you need from this? And most of the time that will relate to a sense of connection, a feeling of belonging, which and people might talk about that in the context of purpose. Is there meaning in the work that you're doing, the work you're doing? And I'd aligned pretty much most of my version of that to elite sport, the AFL, and that's a great game I grew up with. Well, it's a pretty volatile environment to be aligning all those things to, and I got sacked a couple of times. And so the gift was, and it's a forever gift, is that I think I've now built a capacity to reflect, and I don't think it naturally would have happened. I don't think, and the strength of it came not from my own take, but from the role modeling I saw from other people, the support I got from important people in my life, such as my wife Cecily, these sorts of things, which actually then formed part of it. And so even in the conversation we're having now, and the conversations we've had, is that they build on the power of reflection, of making sense of things, building insight and personal understanding. And it might be that every so often you pick up a book and you read it, and you almost got to put the book down because you go, all of a sudden that makes sense. And that's really where that came from. I don't think I was naturally attuned to that. I think I had to go through some probably the most difficult period of my whole life, which I kept secret for the best part of 20 years, to actually understand that. And now I can have the conversation that we're having now.
And it's, thank you very much for sharing that. And it's very interesting that I've heard in another interview, you talked about that you were struggling with imposter syndrome for like 24 years of being CEO over 3 separate teams,
Clubs,
not
yeah.
companies,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah.
which is extraordinary. And why do you think that was?
Because they're bloody hard jobs. I reckon
know
that's the
that.
main part. And so even actually understanding that you are going to feel like that, and that's a natural way of feeling, and not to bang yourself up with it is really, that's the value of it. Because if you're going to do something which is hard, you're going to be ambitious, and you want to take on challenging roles, particularly ones which are in a very uncontrolled environment. So like elite sport's very uncontrolled. We've got a winner and a loser. You get, that's just part of the deal. We've got in our club, there are 18 clubs all going for one premiership, and so you're going to have a lot of losers. So you're going to align all your success to that one thing. And I was the CEO of Melbourne Football Club, and they hadn't won one since 1964. So it obviously goes deeper than that. It goes much deeper. And so you're taking on challenging roles. So by definition, you're always, when you're doing something which is difficult, you're always going to be questioning whether you're up for it, I think, in one way or another. Because if it was easy, it would have already have been done. So I think actually accepting that imposter is going to be part of you're feeling like an imposter, but trying to come up with a better definition of it other than that is just part of your day-to-day. It's part of the life. And that's despite, and because as I got more capable at it as well, because of your experience and your learning and your knowledge, you kept setting the bar a little bit higher as well. So it wasn't as though you're actually going to just keep lowering the bar as you got better. That just was never going to happen. And the one thing about elite sport is the competition sets a standard. You don't get to set the standard. It sets it for you. And then by doing that, you're always going to struggle a little bit with whatever it throws at you. And there were times it just threw stuff at me. I said, I can't believe that. I never saw that coming. And you tended to bang yourself up a little bit because of it.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you very much for sharing that personal story. So look forward to tomorrow. Cheers.
Good on you.
The daily RE Uncut shows are supported by Printforce, Shore Agents, Rock End and CoreLogic. RE Uncut is one of the anchor shows at retplus.com, the home of property.